Hey, what is up guys, it's Troverete here, and today's video is going to be an updated Paleo Frog deck list, since Toadally Awesome finally was released from the ban list, so now we can actually play 3 copies of our beloved Toad, and I'm really glad about that because Toad did nothing wrong, and finally our best friend is back into business. So let's get started, but before we start, subscribe to our channel if you're not already. 75% of you watching my videos are not subscribed, so please guys, subscribe to our channel so we can grow up together. It costs you nothing, and this will let me understand that you appreciate my work. Share this video with your frog friends, and follow me, Troverete, also on Instagram if you want, and consider following also my competitive YuGiOh team, the Omnia players, on Instagram and Facebook. You will find all the links in the description box below. And let's take a look at the frog stuff that we can find in this deck list. So let's get started from the main deck, of course, 40 cards, and we play the basically standard package. Triple Swap Frog, this card is super strong. Finally we got an accessible holoprint for this, thanks to the dual overload. Then I'm running 2 copies of Dupe Frog. I don't like this card so much actually. I know that the standard ratio is gonna be 3 copies of this. You can absolutely play that if you like it, but I prefer to play 2. Also for another reason that we will see later, and 2 copies of Ronin Toadin. So this is not a standard lineup because 1 dupe is missing, but I think it's pretty fine anyways. And the reason why I'm not maximizing on the frogs is because I'm running also 3 copies of the Berry statue of the Torrent. Also this card finally got a semi-holo printing with this new gold lettering rare in maximum gold, since this card was available only in common printing before. This is super strong. If you win the dice roll and start with the Berry statue of water, you win the game, and you can protect this card with a lot of cards that we will see later, and also with some Paleozoic cards that seem to be forgotten by the community. Then for the spell cards we got the 1 Scapegoat. This card is still strong, and this allows you also to play against Red Reboot, and you can chain this also to the Lightning Storm or to the RP's Feather Duster, which is pretty important, and then you can link climb in the next turn and go into a Border Sword play or Avermax depending on what you want to play. Then 1 card of the Mice. I know that a lot of people don't like this anymore, but in this build that is also focused on playing the Berry statue, the Mice is really important since you can dig further into your deck, and I'm following the same exact reasoning with the Pot of Duality. Of course, you can substitute all these 3 with Pot of Extravagance if you can afford that. Also considering the fact that now we got triple Toad, and actually you are not summoning 3 Toads every single time, so you can probably risk and afford to play also the Pot of Extravagance, but for the moment I'm playing this lineup in here. Then for the trap cards, which is the majority, we got 3 copies of Paleozoic Canada. This card is Book of Moon, and is one of the most important cards in this build because you can Book of Moon the opponent's normal summon monster that tries to hit the barrier statue of the Torrent. Okay guys, so this is the first protection that we have for our statue. Then 3 copies of Olenoides. This package is pretty standard once again. Olenoides is the MST of the deck, no reason not to play this. And then the non-standard is 3 copies of Hallucigenia, I don't know how to pronounce this card's name. And this is basically a shrink, so you will halve the opponent's attack and defense of one of the monsters. So basically if they try to hit your statue, you halve the attack and they will crash into your statue, which is absolutely amazing for you. You will really enjoy that feeling, trust me. So try it out, this card, if you wanna play the statue variant. And then last but not least, the 1 Dinomitius. You can play also 2 copies if you want. Sometimes you don't have this card, especially running Card of the Mice, so that's the reason why I'm running 1, but of course you can cut these 3 and play maybe the Stolen package or other stuff that you want. Then MVP of the deck, Trap Trick. This card is so strong, and this card is everything, okay? So you need to play this. If you're not playing this, you're doing something wrong in my opinion. Then another peculiar choice is Reckless Greed. Since you can and you want to dig into your deck further, this card is so strong, especially if you're able to control the tempo of the game, because it happens really a lot to me that I can chain at least 2 of these together, and sometimes even 3 of them together, and that's super strong because you're gonna skip only 2 draw phases anyways if you activate these 3 cards together at the same moment, or kind of like in the same moment. Drawing 4-6 cards is nonsense, trust me. Then 2 copies of Lost Wind. This card is strong, but it's not bonkers as it used to be, but it's still a recursive trap card that comes back from the graveyard, so it triggers Paleozoics. One of the other best cards in here, in this particular build, is the Waboku, since it's another protection for the barrier statue, and once again you can chain your Paleos to it. And then another spicy attack is the Mirror Force. This Mirror Force is strong, guys, believe me, at least in a slow strategy like Paleozoics. No one is expecting this. Then if the opponent sees this coming because you activated maybe one of these in game 1, you can easily side this out, and that's fine. But no one can see this coming, and trust me, a lot of players will die for this. You can also play regular Mirror Force sometimes, but this one is slightly better since it bounces everything back to the hand. So for the extra deck monsters means that they will go back into the extra deck. And then last but not least, sorry for the proxy guys, 3 copies of Impermanence, which is the best and probably the only hand trap that you want to play in this deck, since it's a trap card, and once again you can chain your Paleos to the Impermanence. Then let's move into the extra deck, but before, let's see this amazing Psyduck token that you will need. You can play also other tokens because actually we have the Scapegoat. So finally, 3 toads. Finally, davvero rospotente in Italian language. This card is amazing. I love the artwork, I love what this card does. I always love this card, and I'm really glad that now it's back at 3. I have one maximum gold copy as well, which is pretty gorgeous. Of course the secret rare is still the best one, but I wanted to have at least one copy from the maximum gold set, since it looks different and it's more similar to the OCG version, which is a regular rare card, and of course this is with the gold lettering, as you can see, but it's still pretty cool, and the artwork is amazing. You want to play 3, especially if you run Extravagance. If you have only 2, it's fine anyways, I guess, but having 3 will allow you to recycle something else. You can recycle even the statues in here, guys, which is pretty important sometimes. Then, moving onwards, we got the 1 Sky Cavalry Centauria. No one is playing this anymore, but these cards are strong, guys. And sometimes you don't need the Toad, you need something that can bounce back everything, no targeting removal. This card is strong. This one will make the attack of one opponent's monster 0, so you can attack over everything. And then for the Paleo XYZs, we got the Opabinia and the Anomalocaris. You don't need more than 1 copies each, I guess. You can play 2 of these if you want, maybe cut 1 Toad and play this, or of course you can cut this and play some other Link monsters. That goes for the majority since Master Rule 5. And Anomalocaris is a strong card if you're able to do that, but you won't need more than 1 in my opinion. It is pretty hard to do that since it requires 3 monsters to be summoned. Then a couple of targets for the Waking the Dragon, which is into the side deck. Red Rapro, Ultimate Falcon, and the Naturia Exterio. If you drop these against heavy spell strategies, the opponent will screw the game, trust me. Then for the Link package, we got the 1 Link Spider, the 1 Link Kuribo, and the 1 IP Masquerina. And these 3 Link monsters are for the Scapegoat that you're running into your main deck. So you can basically turn those monsters in effect monsters, so you can go into Border Sword or Avermax if you want to. Then the 1 Mr. Boy, because sometimes you struggle with high attack monsters. You can play also the Area, the Water Charmer, which is amazing as well, but I slightly prefer this for the reason I just told you. The 1 Marincess Anemone, Coral Anemone, this card is super strong. You can revive everything, you can revive the barrier statue, and then last but not least, a Link 4 in the form of Borisword Dragon. You can play Avermax as I told you before. You can play even Paleozoic if you want, but I prefer to have some more XYZ options. So that's the reason behind my choices. Then for the side deck, if you're going first and you want to intensify your strategy, you can also add 3 copies of the Inspector Border. This card is super strong and basically adds like a 4th, 5th and 6th copy of the Barrier Statue if you're going first. And as I told you, you can easily dig into these playing draw cards like Extravagance, like Duality even, because you just need the normal summon and sometimes you win thanks to this and not thanks to the Frog pack. So this card is pretty strong in my opinion, and no one understands what this card does, so that's the main thing about that. Then 3 copies of the Sphere mode, because this deck going second struggles a lot with huge boards. Okay, you can play also the Mirrors if you want, they are absolutely fine. It's on personal preferences, but I like the Spheres because this card will out everything. Also, if you draw this as a 6th card, of course, if you want some other options, you can play also the heavily matched, which are still strong of a cards going second, but this one tributes and doesn't activate nothing, so that's the reason why I love it. Then once again, the one Reigeki, because you need to clear some stuff. If you get the money, you can also run Lightning Storms, of course. Then some other traps, we got a couple of Waking the Dragon, pretty necessary for game 2 and 3, because people are running now Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storms, Cosmic Cyclones, Twin Twisters. There is really a lot, so this card is super strong. Then 2 copies of Heavy Storm Duster. No reason to play Twin Twisters when you can play this in this particular deck and trigger also your Paleo stuff into the graveyard. And then last but not least, we got the Solemn Judgment Brigade, once again to counter the Feather Dusters, to counter the Heavenlies that hurt really a lot, so you want to play those Judgments. And then the one Imperial Order, we are not playing kind of like any spell card, so this will not hurt us, but will hurt a lot the opponent. So that's basically it for today. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about my deck list? I know this is not standard regular deck list, but it is fun to play, and that's the most important thing in my opinion. So subscribe to the channel if you're not already, remembering that 75% of you watching my videos are not subscribed to the channel. It costs you nothing and it will help me a lot. Also in understanding that you appreciate my content. Give a like on the video if you like it, share it with your friends. Follow me, Okra1993, also on Instagram. And follow also my competitive YuGiOh team, the Omnia players, on Instagram and Facebook. You will find all the links in the description box below. And see you in the next one.